An Oklahoma City man charged with molesting a young girl, possibly infecting her with HIV.
Both of the things that he just did could possibly become non-prosecutable. In this event, although it's in Oklahoma, let's not forget that a lot of these states copy each other. Here's a name, Donovan Scott Shepard. If that name does not ring a bell, I'm not surprised it would, because it's not really making its rounds yet for how serious of a crime this is. But many people are going to hear it and going to say, well, I can understand why no one's talking about it, because, heck, who knows what a woman is anyway? Donovan Scott Shepard was found at gunpoint by a mother who found him violating her daughter. The bigger problem here is that Donovan is HIV positive, and he knows it.
This next story might be disturbing for some. An Oklahoma City man charged with molesting a young girl, possibly infecting her with HIV. An affidavit alleges Donovan Shepard got into a fight at a bar in Moore last Saturday night. When he got home, he allegedly molested a young girl living there. She was 12 years old. The mother, coming into the room, would hold him at gunpoint until police arrived. Donovan told officials he is HIV positive. Allegedly, though, there were several other incidents involving Donovan molesting that young girl. He was arrested, now faces several charges. Some include minor and exposing others to AIDS.
Now, I'm going to break into something of a somewhat political place, but just be patient with me. We'll get to what we're actually going to talk about in a second. There are certain states that have pushed for the decriminalization of knowingly infecting someone with HIV. There are other states that are trying to lower the legal age limit for intercourse with minors. When you put all of these issues together, you find something that's happening within the walls of the law that could end up being a very big problem. That problem being that the open way is left now for people who have an attraction to those who are younger. The situation was that Mr. Shepard was at a bar. The little girl's mother came to pick him up. Apparently, she was in a relationship with him and took him back home. Unfortunately, she then discovered him violating her daughter, held him at gunpoint. He was arrested. He's 39 years old, and the person that he was violating is 12. Now, when you put the other things into consideration where certain states might start passing laws, both of the things that he just did could possibly become non-prosecutable. Now, let that sink in for just a moment. For all the care and concern that the United States says they have, at least the government says that they have, for the safety of children and protecting our children and making sure that no child gets harmed while at school, they take away twice as much protections for the children outside of school. In fact, they allow multiple things to take place that could even effectuate even worse damage upon a child while outside the confines of the school. In this event, although it's in Oklahoma, let's not forget that a lot of these states copy each other. Oklahoma may not be on the list yet to do what they're doing in California, but let's not get it twisted. The more depraved the world gets, the more likely these particular laws are to pass in certain states that you thought would never allow them. But we're living in a different time. We're living in a different era, and we have a whole lot of different people in charge of things. Now, when you allow certain things to run rampant, it's only a matter of time before they become codified in law. With this particular incident, you're talking about a grown man violating a little girl. And what exactly will be the outcome of it? You can't even be guaranteed that this will actually end in prosecution, charges, jail time. You are not solidified in that thinking whatsoever. If this does go forward, great. But he's being held on $500,000 bond. Now, just be sure about what this means. It doesn't mean that he's not going to be let free to do it again. If he comes up with $500,000, he's fine. Now, this is what he's hit with. Lewd or indecent proposal or acts upon a child, engaging in a pattern of criminal offenses, exposing others to AIDS, rape in the first degree, and rape by instrumentation. I'm not even going to try and guess what that last one meant. The bigger question is, will any of those charges stick? Now, we all know that if you can pass things off like this, well, it's in my nature to be attracted to. You can't dog me for my sexual preference. In today's climate, look, 10 years ago, that statement alone would have said, this dude's crazy. Preference? Are you insane? Today? Nope. It's actually a valid form of defense now. It doesn't even matter what state you live in. The majority of things that happen in court, if you can tell somebody, this is how I am built, this is my orientation, it affects now the way the case is being handled. We will keep on top of it, but I'm going to make a small prediction here. The kind of jail time he should get, I doubt he will get. The kind of attention this case should get, it won't get. And the kind of justice that girl needs, she won't. It'll be ending up just like any other thing, where if you say enough things about yourself as a deficit, why I could not help it, it was not my fault, I didn't know what I was doing, I was drunk, this, that, the other, eventually someone will say, he's right, he couldn't help it. And then one more person goes to the wayside, and what have we just made? Another broken member of society. We're in dire straits right now. And this is not just an America problem, this is a global problem. Our moral compass is so off that we are lost. We are completely lost. If you have cases where in California you could make sodomy of a child legal, it is only a matter of time before the rest of the states kowtow and give in, because the more people lose their morality, the more people will vote to have things that are less moral. And the only ones to suffer in all of this, the real victims, is the next generation.